What's up, everybody? It's the Gambler here, back out for another walk and another talk today. What I want to talk about today is sort of a play on yesterday when I was thinking about retirement. I mentioned something in that walk, and it was about money, savings and things like that. And I said, I'll come back and I'll talk to you guys about that as well. So here I am. That's what we're going to do on this walk today. So we're going to have some real walking, some real talking, and some real life wisdom sharing fun. And it's very cold out here today, and I don't know if this walk may get interrupted because it's been raining and it is cold out here, but I'm committed. I thought about y'all last night and I was like, you know what, rain or come shine, I'm going out there and walk, and I'm going to talk to my beautiful people and share whatever knowledge that I can share and what's on my mind. And what's on my mind is what we're going to talk about. Like I said, once again, if I didn't say it, we're going to talk about saving money and debt. And I know everybody that's watching this knows something about saving money, and you definitely know something about debt. But the funny thing about debt, why when we doing it, we don't realize. When we running up bills and we running up debt and we running up credit cards, why we don't realize it until it's out of control? And then all of a sudden we like, man, how that bill get to be $8,000? Where did it come from? Or you open up that statement, you're like, oh my God, $4,000? When I do that? Who did that? I ain't do that. But it never, I think that's like the devil. It never dawned on you when you're making those bills. That money, you never have that running calculator in your head going when you making those bills. And I don't know why that is. But we all get in trouble at some point in time with debt. And it happens to pretty much the most of us. You can be poor, you can be rich, you can be middle class, you could be hungry, you could be starving, you could be full, you could be whatever you want to be. All of us have had a situation, some way, shape, or form of dealing with debt. Now, what could I say about debt? I wouldn't talk about debt if I couldn't talk the talk and walk the walk, like I'm doing literally right now. So, I guess where you could start would be how to avoid it. So let's talk about how to avoid getting in debt. And then we'll jump over there on what to do once we realize that we don't eat it and fail in it. So here we go. How to avoid debt. Well, the first thing about how to avoid debt is stop spending money that you don't have. Period. I don't know what to tell you. Stop spending money you don't have. If you ain't got the money, you gonna be able to avoid that. You gonna be able to avoid that all day. Stop spending money you don't have. If you gotta put something on a credit card, on a payment plan, what's some of the other ones out there? Layaway been gone. I know some of y'all gotta miss that Walmart layaway. That was the bomb. I'm gonna tell y'all, this is a quick story. I had never used layaway, and I was going through a tough time. And I was in one of my apartments, and I wanted a comforter set, and I said, well, that's what I'm gonna get myself for Christmas. I'm gonna get me a new comforter set. And you know, back then, I don't know if y'all remember, but everybody had that black and gold mirror set. I know y'all remember that black and gold mirror set. Yeah, you remember. So I had that black and gold mirror set, and I wanted me a black comforter. I wanted a black satin comforter. So I was actually one day in Walmart, and I saw they had a black comforter, and you know, my money was funny. Hey, I ain't always had money, so I don't have times when money can get real funny. I mean, it could be a heck of a comedian, if you know what I mean. So I said, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna put this on layaway. So I load up my basket, and I get the comforter, and then I go over there, and I was like, well, hey, I might well go for the whole shebang and get some matching sheets too. So I throw the sheets in there and everything. And usually the layaway department used to be in the back of Walmart. So I got my buggy, it's loaded up. I'm headed into the back, like, ooh, I'm finna do me a layaway. Yeah. I roll back there, and I'm like, I see the bathrooms. I see the men's shoe department. I'm like, what a layaway section at? Like, where is the layaway section? Y'all, I was so seriously looking for that layaway section that I don't walk back up into like the storage room. I went through the double doors back off up in the storage area of Walmart looking for the layaway section. And by the time I was back there, this person stopped, one of the representatives stopped and said, are you lost? I said, no, I said, I'm looking for the layaway section. And they said, honey, now I remember it was an old lady. She said, honey, we don't do layaways no more. And she looked at me like she felt sorry for me. She was like, baby, But anyway, that was my story where, hey, I didn't have money to buy that comforter or those sheets because I was trying to put it on layaway. So if you're in a situation where you don't have the money in your pocket to purchase or buy anything that you're trying to buy at that time, guess what? You can't afford it. It's time to get real with yourself. Take the real pill. Get you a good soda or water or juice or whatever you drink. Swallow that pill because you can't afford it. And the main way to avoid debt is stop purchasing, buying, spending money on things you cannot afford. Now, that's not to say that you won't at some point in the future be able to afford those things, because you got to stay positive. Your situation don't have to remain the same. You can change any situation. You can have more than enough money. If that's what you believe and that's what you commit to, you can have it. But what it is today or what it is at that certain time that you ain't got that money, then you can't have that. So the gambler giving you some real tea and some real honesty. and some tough love. The way to avoid debt is stop spending money you don't have. And so the way I started avoiding debt is I kept this mentality is if I can't buy it with cash that's in my pocket or cash that's in the bank, I can't afford it, therefore I can't have it. And when I started doing that, I stopped making debt. Now, keep in mind, I'm not talking about dealing with the debt I already got. What I'm talking about for you right now is how to stop making debt. And so the way to stop making debt is stop spending money that you don't have. If you got the money, buy it. Whatever it is that you want. If you don't have the money, don't get it. And you might say, well, that ain't gonna work for me because I put my stuff on the credit card and then I come back and I pay my credit card off, and you know, I use my airplane miles. Y'all, they got me with them airplane miles. For the longest, I held out when I'm on that airplane and that stewardess come through there and she say, hey, I got 50,000 miles. It was almost like an auction. I got 50, give me 50, got 50, give me 10, give me 10, got an application over there, application over here, hey, one, I got two, three applications, got 3 applications on row 16, C, D, E, F. They'll get you. They got me. Because one day I got that application and I said, okay, give me them 50,000 miles and I could fly a couple flights free, and I don't use the credit card anyway, so I could just keep the credit card because I don't do credit cards. Not the gambler. I'm in control of my finances. I had that card for maybe about 2 to 3 years before I charged anything on it. And I can't remember what happened that made me start charging. Yes, I can. I started on some of my casino trips. And remember I told y'all I've got a slot gambling channel, and some of my casino trips that I go on, I was like, well, I'll put the food and stuff on the card and I'll pay that off when I get back. And that was working out fine because I can't stand debt. But I forgot my main rule, and it wasn't that I didn't have the money. I had the cash. I fell in that trap about, hey, let me put this on this card and let me get these points and then come back and pay it off. I fell into that trap. And one time it was about $2,000. Okay, I said, okay, $2,000. For the due date, paid that $2,000. And some of it was more than food, y'all. I don't want y'all thinking. I spent all $2,000 on food while I'm off on a trip. I love food, but I don't love it like that. Plus, I broke up with food. I'm trying to get in shape and stay in shape. So me and food had to break up, you know. And I don't care how much the food bag, we through. It's over. You know how when the love is gone, the love is gone. So, but anyway, that's another story. So, but long story short, that same miles card, it happened to me. So now, I found myself for the first time in, I don't know, it might be a decade, in about 10, 20 years, I had a card that carried the balance over to the next month. And I was like, what the hell? So, of course, I put together me a plan, and I'm paying that card off, and I'm not going to do that anymore. So don't even fall for those cards that tell you, you know, the miles and to get the miles or what have you. The only way I say do that is if you know you are very disciplined. Then it is a value. It's definitely a value, because you can get those miles and you can save a lot of money. You can get those cash backs. You can save a lot of money. So I'm not telling you not to do that, but I'm only telling you to do that if you know you are disciplined with money, and you're going to do the right thing, and you're going to pay it off every month before that interest accrues and roll over. So that's the key. One of the things to avoid debt is stop spending money that you don't have. So what I live by is, if I can't buy it with cash, I can't have it. As simple as that. So that's one way you can avoid it. Avoid that. That's one way. Another way to avoid debt is be a little bit more mindful with your money. Value your money more than what the money is valued at. And what I mean by that is, let it mean something. You know, a lot of us, we just, because we might have an abundance of it, or even if we don't have abundance of it. And I noticed that this happens a lot with people who don't have abundance of it. They tend to spend it more. Hey, how you doing? They tend to spend it more recklessly. So, but if you have abundance of it, you know, value it more than spending it recklessly. That's another way to avoid debt. If something else comes to mind, I'm sure I have some more, but that's the biggest way to avoid debt, is stop spending money that you don't have. If you don't have that money, don't spend it. And guess what? You won't be in debt. Ultimately, you won't be in debt. Now that you're in debt, that's another story, and we're gonna cover that. Okay, before I get over onto the saving, let's cover, you're now in debt. You don't effed up. You owe Tom and Dick and Harry and Peter and Paul. Even after you robbed Peter to pay Paul, you just serious in some serious debt. You just really don't effed up. You know that, right? You know that. You know you don't effed up. You know that. How do you fix it? Well, the way you fix it is you sit down and you face the music. You take out a piece of paper and you write down every credit card that you have. And you write down, and I'm sharing y'all some tea here. I'm giving y'all some free information that I've given several of my friends, and I've helped my friends get out of debt. And I've helped my spouse get out of debt. And I've helped my family members get out of debt. And I've helped myself get out of debt with the same plan. And I'm giving it to you guys free. So to get out of debt, get you a piece of paper. Write down each one of your debts that you have. As a line item. Write down the due date, when it's due. Write down the total balance that is due. Write down the interest rate, and write down the amount of interest that was accrued for that period that you're on right then. So don't worry about the previous months or any other months. We just focus on this month. Write down how much that was. If it was $39.78, write down you paid $39.78 in interest. So whatever bill you have, and some of the bills may not have accrued interest. It might be an installment bill, like a car note or something like that. But also, write down car notes. Write down every single bill you have. And then, in that total of what you owe, I want you to add all that up. You adding it up? Make sure you add it up. Calculate it 2 or 3 times, because you might not be happy with the total. You might miss a number, so it makes you feel good, but you ain't doing nothing but hurt yourself. So make sure you add it up right. Add up what that total is. I don't care what that total come out to be. You might have sit down there, thought that total was going to be $3,000, and by the time you finished adding it, it was $13,000. I don't care. I don't care. Add that up right. Then I want you to add up that column that has the interest on it. The interest column. How much you paying in interest each month. Add that up. Now that's going to sucker punch you in the stomach. And I'm going to tell you why that's going to sucker punch you in the stomach. Because that's just free money you giving away. That's money you giving somebody for letting you use their money. I don't know about you, but that bothers me. If it don't bother you, it should bother you. But anyway, whatever that total is, you write that down. You gotta pay them. Cause another walk and another talk will be about them credit scores. I might have to do that tomorrow. I don't know. I might as well equip y'all with everything that you need all together, so y'all can have all of your tools all in one tool shed and not have to wait. So I might talk about that tomorrow. Now that you got all that added up, start focusing on the bill that has, you can go about it 2 ways. You can focus on the bill that has the smallest balance, that will be the quickest for you to pay off, and focus on breaking that money down. Take it, add it up, add the interest amount with it, and divide it by how many ever months you think it'll take you to pay that off with all what you pay already. So this is extra that you will have to pay off. So now you can take the ones that's got the, you can do it with the ones that's got the lowest balance, and start there. Or you could take the one that has the highest interest rate and start tackling that one. For me, I like to see results quick. So I tend to, well, it just really, to be honest, really is how I'm feeling. If I want to just focus on the smaller ones and get them paid off quick, I'll do those. Or if I'm real pissed off at one of the credit cards, exactly how much interest money they're getting off of me, then that one I will focus on paying it off first. But that's one way, a simple way to get out of debt. Stick to that plan. Once you get one paid off, scratch it off. You ain't got to worry about more debt, because remember, I've already told you how to avoid and debt. So we just got to focus on what's on this paper. So every time you get one scratched off, stretch it off. Now, when you paid that first one off, and let's say that first one paying each month, you had to pay, for easy calculations, you had to pay $100. Okay, now that next one that you have, you've got to pay an extra $50 to, let's say, pay it off in 6 months. Well, what you're going to do is, that $100, now that you paid that other one off, guess what? You still don't have that $100 in your pocket. You're gonna take that $100 for the one. Make sure my nose ain't running up in here. For the one that you already paid off. And I apologize that I rub my nose and stuff like that. It's so cold out here. The other day, my nose and my eyes was running. These bigger shades are keeping my eyes from running, but I need some shades for my nose. But anyway, where was I at? Damn, I got off track. So you're gonna take that $100 and you're gonna take that $50 now. You're gonna add them together, and you're gonna take that $150 extra $150 and pay on that bill. And you're gonna keep paying on that bill. And you're gonna pay all of the other ones, they minimal, whatever they is. I know they study getting interest. Ain't nothing you can do about that. It is what it is. You did that, you can't change that. Let it be what it be. When you get that one paid off, you now have $150 extra. Are you following me? Are you seeing how I'm stepping through you paying these bills off one by one to get yourself out of the mess that you created? And it's a mess. You created it. It's a mess. I told y'all I keep it real. You created a mess. Yeah, and you gotta stand up in it. Like the blues song say, stand up in it. I'm from Mississippi, y'all. Y'all know I know my blues. I love my blues. So you gotta stand up in it. We talk about stand up in your mess, though. Not what the blues song talking about. So now, and this is the last part of the example. Now you're on bill number 3, and bill number 3, you were paying $50 on that. So now, guess what? You're supposed to pay $200 extra on that. So if you follow where I'm going, you're now able to start paying off bills a whole lot faster. Each bill that you get off, you're able to pay it off that much more faster. You're getting out of debt that much more faster. That process works. That'll get you out of debt. If you stick with it and be disciplined, you'll be debt free based off of whatever your projected plan is. I won't disclose who that person was, but I helped a person that had about $37,000 in debt, and helped them get out of debt in about 13 months. And I personally had a situation where I was in debt for it might have been about $32,000, and I got out of that debt situation in about 8 months. And I can tell you, and that was a long time ago, that was probably 20 years ago or what have you, because I don't do debt. Me and debt don't get along. It is no love between me and debt. I did debt just like food. I broke up with them. They wouldn't treat me right. You know, if people don't treat you right, if you're in a relationship with somebody, they don't treat you right, what you need to do? You need to leave that. right? You need to go on and move on. You need to pack your stuff and go on. And that's what I did with that. And I don't go back. I don't miss none of that. It wasn't that good in the first place. So, anywho, I'm not going to miss it. So that's what you do with debt. And that's how you can get, one way you can get out of debt. So another way to take care of your credit card debt is, especially credit card debt, you know that you're going to be paying 100 and adding up and paying 50 and 150 and 200 and all that I just explained. Another way to avoid trying to pay it and pay interest is, and you can only do this if you are somebody that's disciplined. If you're not disciplined, you can't use this method, because you will fail with this method. This method will probably get you in more trouble or deeper trouble than you already are in with the trouble you're trying to get out of. But if you are disciplined, you can do this to help you get out of debt. If you are fortunate enough to have a credit card that has a balance left on it, check out your balance transfer. See if you got a balance transfer deal. If you have a balance transfer deal, you know where they say take this balance, you can take this balance off of that credit card and you can transfer that balance to this credit card, and they'll charge you a small fee. Then that's what I'm saying do. So for example, say you have a credit card that has $3,000 limit on it, and there's nothing on that credit card, and they got a balance transfer, and they saying you can transfer this balance with no interest for 15 months. And let's say you got a credit card that's got like 21% interest on it, and you got $2,000 on that credit card. So what you can do is you can take that $2,000 on that credit card, transfer that $2,000 over to the credit card that's got the balance transfer deal, pay the fee. Most of the time, like I said, that fee for that time, let's say the fee may be 4%, 5%, 3%, might even say no fee, or it might be a flat $100. Whatever it is, it's worth it, because you're not going to be paying all that interest during the time it takes you to pay that debt off. So, and you some credit cards let you transfer any type of debt, so it could be any type of debt. But transfer it over there, and let me turn around here. Transfer it over there, and once you get it transferred over there, whatever that fee is, it's going to be added on to that balance, and you will have 15 months to pay that off. Now, remember I said you got to be disciplined with this, because if you don't have that balance that you transferred over paid off before that end expiration date, you will have to pay that interest. You're going to be charged the interest. So that's why I say you need to be disciplined. Don't do that unless you're really disciplined. But when you transfer that over, then now you got 15 months. Try not to use the whole 15 months, but break it down, that $2,000, and how much ever you can afford, and make you a payment plan to pay that off, and pay it off before the 15 months. Usually, I always try, like if they say 15 months, I try to plan to pay it at least 2 to 3 months before that date when I'm doing a plan. So basically you got 12 months to pay it off. So that way you ensure that you have it paid off before that that expiration date, that 15 months. So you left a 3-month cushion. So take that 12 months, divide that 2,000 into 12 months. Well, it's not gonna be 2,000, it might be 2,200, whatever the fee was that's added onto that. So let's say it was $2,300. So take that $2,300, divide it by 12, and that's the monthly payment that you're gonna pay on that card to get that debt paid off. That's another way, and that's another tactic that I use to help get out of debt. Free information, and it works, and it'll get you out of debt. But remember what I said, you just don't do that one unless you're disciplined. Okay? One way to avoid, I would suggest, and this is just, all of this is my opinions, my suggestions, my experiences, and some of my knowledge. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do not suggest you go to one of those debt I can't even get the word. Consolidation. Lord, I just had a brain freeze. Debt consolidation places. Do not, I repeat, America, family and friends, loved ones, all my beautiful people out there, do not go to a debt consolidation to get your bills paid off. Because guess what? You fit to be in a worse situation than you was before. That's all I gotta say. Don't go to a debt consolidation place. Oh, also, if you do them check cashing places, you know they got you. you know it. You know you in deep. You know it. Because all they do, they just like a bait on a hook catching a fish. Soon as you bite that bait, soon as you catch that check, they got you. So that's gonna take you some effort and time if you're in one of them check cashing situations. Bite the bullet and figure out how you can get out of that. Pay whatever money you need to pay to get out of that, and don't go back and do it again. That's all I can say on that. I think that's what I conclude with debt. If something else comes back to me, or if you guys have any thoughts or suggestions, because I don't claim to know it all, and something that may help or ideas, leave a comment, inbox me. When you do the comment, share it so everybody else can see it. It's much appreciated. Help who you can help. Help one, save one. Help two, love everybody. That's what the gambler said. I just made that up, but it sounded good. It sounded like a real good quote. And I own it. You know, I'm on record. I say I own it. Okay, anyway. Y'all see how I do that? Y'all see how I pay attention to something and be like, hey, money that can be made off of stuff like that. You have to pay attention to that. Can't go around just giving stuff away free unless you want to be a blessing. Now you can do that to be a blessing. And these videos, it's not about money for me. It's about being a blessing. So you can do that. Go around, bless people. And also that really, when you think about it, that's a way to get out of debt too. Because you could be a blessing to somebody, and guess what? A bigger blessing gonna come back around to you. That's true. And the name ain't true. The name is karma. The name is blessing. It'll come back around to you the same way the same energy that you put out is the same energy that can come back to you. Put out big energy, Not that song, y'all. Put out big, big energy, you'll get big, big energy back. That ain't my thing. But anywho, and those of you who know that song, y'all know why I'm laughing. Those of you who don't know the song, good for you. Not to say that that's a bad song. It's a hit. It's a jam. It's got a good beat. It's just a jam. But anyway, okay. I don't want whoever the artist is that do that song. I can't remember her name, but I don't need no smoke. I like the song, girl. Let's see. Let's get back on subject. So I think that covers you on debt, on how to avoid debt and how to get out of debt. Some suggestions on get out of debt. Now, let's talk about the money. Let's get to the money. Getting to the money. Getting to the money. Let's talk about saving money. It's true. Some people don't know how to save money. It's true. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Remember when I said yesterday, some of us weren't taught how to manage money. So if you weren't taught how to manage money, then anybody would expect that you don't know how to save money. And that's okay. Because the gambler got you. I'm going to share with you how you can start saving money. I had a person, won't disclose, that came to me and said, Tony, I can't save no money. How you been saving all this money? You got all that money. I can't save no money. And this is what you do. Okay. So here you guys, here y'all go. When you get your paycheck, who do you pay first? You might pay your mortgage, you might pay your car note, you might pay your credit card, you might pay your grandma, you might pay your auntie, because you borrowed that $20 from her last week. You might pay your cousin, or they always looking out for you. Somebody. So you're doing this wrong. The first person, hold on, let me turn this other phone on. Sorry for the interruption. That's my boo. But I'm gonna get back at her because she would want me to finish this video. Okay, where I'm at. Yes. Who do you pay first? You should be paying yourself first. The first thing you pay out of your check is you. That's one way you can start saving money. Look at your bills and look at your paycheck and look at how much you can afford to pay yourself. If you can only afford to pay yourself $5, if you can only afford to pay yourself $10, if you could afford to pay yourself $200 every check, guess what? That bill needs to be written down that you pay, if it was me, the gambler, on my paper, and I can pay myself $200, the first bill I pay is I pay me $200. If you ain't doing this, you need to start your very next paycheck. Because what are you working for? Everybody else getting the glory, but you ain't getting none. That don't sound right to me. You should be enjoying some of those pleasures of your hard work and hard labor. So start paying yourself. That's one way to start saving money. Now, when you pay yourself, you can save it, or you can indulge in it, or you take half of it and indulge in it. I'll let you decide what you want to do with the money that you pay yourself. I don't think you're ready yet, because you just started getting this money. I don't think you're ready yet for me to tell you what to go do with that money. So I'm gonna let y'all have y'all freedom, y'all newfound freedom, since y'all got new paychecks now that's coming to yourself, that you getting paid, and do whatever you want to do with it. I'm gonna come back on some later walks and talks and tell you what I would suggest you start doing with that money that you pay yourself with. But for now, enjoy it. Enjoy your paycheck. So that's one way you can save money. Another way you can save money is, just like you looked at your check and you saw that you had extra money to pay yourself, look at your check and see how much money you can start saving. So if that's $10 out of every check, then take that $10 out of every check, and you do nothing with that $10, but put that $10 in a can, put that $10 in a savings account, put that $10 in a piggy bank. You do nothing but put that $10 wherever all the other $10 are that you are saving. You just put it there, and you keep putting it there. Every paycheck, every paycheck, every paycheck. $10, $10, $10. If you see that you can increase that, only increase it to what you can afford. Don't increase it to the point that you can't afford to put the $10 when you really could do $5, but you don't put 10. Because if you do that, you're going to fail. You're not going to put that $10 up every paycheck. Why? Because you can't afford it, and you're going to need it, and then you're going to feel like you're not successful. Then you're going to feel like you're failing, and then guess what? You're going to stop doing it altogether, and then guess what? You're going to say, I might as well go on and open that can up and get that other $50 that's up in there, because I'm through saving. See where I'm going? You follow me? So calculate what you can afford and start putting that aside. When you get enough in that savings that you've been putting aside, that $10 that you've been putting aside, when you get enough to go to a bank and open up not one, 2 savings accounts. When you get to a point that you can go to a bank and open up 2 savings accounts, go to this. Now, I ain't gonna name no bank, but it's 2 big banks that I wouldn't say go to. I would probably say go to like a smaller bank that's gonna give you a free savings account. Go to anywhere that's gonna give you a free savings account that's not gonna charge you no service fee to save your money that they are you already using. That's another walk and talk. I'm gonna tell you about the banks and where you should be, how I save my money and how I grow my money. That's another walk and talk. But anyway, find a bank. Once you get to a certain amount, and if they say all you need is $50 to open that account, so when you get $100 saved up, go to that bank and I want you to open up 2 saving accounts. And in those 2 saving accounts, I want you to take one and put $50 in, and I want you to take the other savings account and put $50 in. So now you got 2 savings accounts, and each account has $50 in it. So now what you're going to do is you're still going to take that $10 a month. I mean, not a month, but $10 a paycheck, because that's what you said you could afford. And now, instead of putting it in that can, you're going to take $5 and go put it in each account. So split that up. Now, I want you to name these 2 savings accounts. One of the savings account is going to be long term. That's the name of that savings account. And the other savings account is going to be called cash. Its name is cash. Now, you're going to keep on doing it and doing that, and you're going to watch that money grow. And guess what? You're saving money. You are now saving money. Now, it's the reason I told you 2 accounts. Because those accounts are going to be what I call level up accounts. Your cash account is you go in there when you got something that you need to do. For those times when you was using a credit card and you really wanted something and you want to treat yourself. Don't do it often. Make it very rare that you do it. But that is the only savings account that you will go to. If it's not in that savings account, then you don't have the money to do it. And you do not ever want to go in that savings account and you taking out at least half of it. I would say leave at least 75% of it. So remember that you can probably just go in there and get maybe 25% of what's in that account. You want to try to keep that account, you want to try to keep that account at 75% of the amount of money that's in it. So that's your cash account. So that's the savings account that you go to. So now you got money. You saving money and you got money. Now that long-term account, that account is there for emergencies only. And it has to be an emergency. Not that you need to go get your hair braided and she want to charge you $250 and you need $50 more. No, that's not an emergency. That's a want, not a need. Emergency gotta be a need. It's got to happen. That's the only time you go into that savings account. Think about it. You're not gonna have a lot of emergencies. So because you don't have a lot of emergencies, guess what's gonna happen to that account? It's gonna keep building and building and building and building. And I'm not making up some bull. I don't want to say that word, but I cussed a lot yesterday. I used up all my cuss words yesterday. I don't have no more cuss words today. But I'm not shooting you a lot of bull. This is one of the ways I save money. You can do it too. Just like that. Let's think about another way to save money. And this one, I'll let this one be the last one. And I'm going to probably cut this walk. You know, let me say this too. I'm really enjoying talking with you guys because it actually has helped me to walk longer. Because I hate walking, but, you know, I would usually get my 20 to 30 minutes in and that's it. And I try to get 30 at a minimum. But since I've been talking with y'all, walking with y'all, and talking with y'all, and living with y'all, and loving with y'all, I've been walking a lot longer. And now I hope some of y'all take some of these videos and take them with you on your walk. And just, instead of listening to your headphones, take me with you. Take the gambler with you. But I want to thank y'all. I hope y'all find value in these videos and that it help you because you guys are helping me. And I thank you for that. And I appreciate everybody that is watching these videos. Everybody that like, everybody that subscribe, everybody that leave a comment, everybody that watch and watch to the end. I appreciate you guys and I love you. You're a great help to me. Remember what I said, give out good energy, you get good energy back. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna wrap up on saving, and this is something that I do myself too. And I'm gonna tell y'all a little story on this. Stop giving your money away. Stop loaning your cousin, Bobby Joe, Mary Ann, Joyce Ann, Kathy Faye, Judy, Bobo, Bo Peep. Stop giving them your money. Stop loaning them your money. Stop loaning them your money. Now, if you can afford to loan them the money, because what I do, if I loan people money, there's no such thing for me as loan people money. I give them the money. I don't have an expectation that I will get it back. So if I can't afford to give you the money, then I don't loan you the money. But if I can't afford to give you the money, then I'll go ahead and give you the money. So stop loaning people money. But if you can afford to loan people money, and you have some people that are in need, and I'm not saying don't help people. That is not what I'm saying. Of course, help your loved ones and your family and friends that are in financial hardship whenever you can. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, do it as long as you are not in financial hardship. That's what I'm saying. But now, this is a little story about loaning money. Everybody know me about loaning money. I have this secret wall. Now, this happened. Tell y'all this story. This is gonna wrap it up. When I was little, and this is how yesterday I said that my parents didn't really teach me money management. They taught me survival. But my next door neighbors, they taught me money management. So I forgot about them. I did get some money management in there. But this story is about Mr. Now, everybody that know me know Mr. Self-made man, never worked for anybody. Had a snowball stand, shoes shine, you name it. He did it. He never worked for anybody. And oh my God, he had the best snowballs. I love banana and I love watermelon. Oh, they were so good. But I was a kid. I ain't have much money. His snowball cost 25 cents. So I go around and I say, I want a snowball, but I ain't got no 25 cents. He'll say, gal, you ain't never got no money. Huh, what kind of snowball you want? I say banana, so he'll give me a banana snowball. So, but at the same time he'll give me that banana snowball, he'll walk back to the wall. And on that wall, he'll have a lot of names, and he'll have numbers beside them names. And I noticed one day when he gave me the snowball, he had never done that before. Oh, that day, I asked him to loan me $1. I remember it now. That's how I got on the wall. Normally, he'll give me a snowball. I'll go this way because this try to wrap the story up. Normally, he'll give me a snowball, and he wouldn't go and write my name on that wall and my 25 cents on that wall. He'll just give me the snowball. But that day I asked him to loan me $1. Now I'm asking him to loan me $1, knowing I ain't got a job to my name. Don't have a clue how I'm gonna get that $1. But I asked him to loan me $1. I can't remember what I needed that $1 for. But I wanted a snowball and $1. And I remember him walking over to that wall and he put my name on there, spelled my name on there, and he put $1.25 on that wall by my name. And I made it my mission to pay that dollar back. So later on, back in the day, you remember, y'all used to, we could go and collect Coca-Cola bottles, and we used to collect cans, and we could take them to the can man, and we could take Coca-Cola bottles to them, and they would give us, you know, how much ever weight we got for the Coca-Cola cans, and how much ever for the bottles. And so I went and did that and got me some money, and I was proud. I went over to and I said, here you go, here go my $1.25. I said, you could take my name off the wall now. He said, you know, that's really good. That's really, really good. I'm really, really proud of you. He said, you gonna be all right. I said, thank you, Mr. Thank you. And I said, what that mean that you got my name on that wall and all them other people name on that wall with all their money by their name? He said, do you remember what I did before I gave you that money? I said, yeah, you walked back there and you looked at that wall, and then you came back, and then you gave me that dollar, and then you gave me my 25-cent snowball. He said, right. He said, if your name is on that wall and it ain't scratched out, then I wasn't gonna give you that dollar. If your name ain't on that wall, you can get that dollar. If your name on that wall and your name is scratched out, you still can get that dollar. But if your name is on that wall and money beside you can't get that dollar. And I don't care if your life depends on it, you can't get that dollar. I said, okay, I understand. And from that day, y'all, everybody that know me, when somebody asks me for some money, I say, is your name on the wall? And I go back in my memory, I walk to that wall in my mind, and I check that whole wall to see if your name on that wall, and if that money is still there beside your name and your name on that wall. And guess what? I don't care what your situation is. I don't loan you no money because your name is on that wall. And some people, I've had some people that say, well, how much I owe you? Because I want my name off the wall. I say, you can keep that money. Because as long as your name is on that wall, guess what? I ain't got to never loan you no more money. That's how I operate. That's another way I save money. So y'all need to get y'all a wall and start putting their names on the wall. As long as they keep a good track record and their name ain't on the wall, then they can come. If you got it, they got it. Okay, if you could afford it, then yeah. But if they name on that wall, they don't get no money. I'm gonna need you to find something else better than asking me for some money. That's what I'm gonna need you to do. So that's my story. So all of y'all need to get a wall. And when people ask you for money, write their name on the wall and stick to it. And if they on that wall, don't give them no money. If they on that wall and they paid it when they said, and you leave their name on that wall, even if they paid you back. And I'm gonna say this cuss word, even if they paid you back, but they talk when they paid you back. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know some of them. You loan them money, and when you want your money back, they talk to you about giving you your money back. They go ahead and give it to you, but they talk to you. Guess what? Their name stay on the wall. You don't scratch their name off. So that's one other way to save money. Those are my two biggest things. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. Oh my God, I walked longer than I could imagine that I was. It's been real walk, real talk, real life, real love. And I've enjoyed talking with you guys. If you got value from this, if you didn't get value from this, hit that like button, comment, subscribe. I really would appreciate it. It would definitely help me out. It'll help me be able to bring you more content. And I'm going to wrap that up. And I'm going to see y'all on the other side of another video. Get ready for it. I got a lot. And if you got something that you want me to talk about, I don't care what it is, who it is, or whatever it is. If you got something you want me to talk about, and if I got an opinion about it, or if I know about it. Now, I ain't going to talk about nothing I don't know about. So, but if I know something about it, I'll talk about it. And we'll talk about it. And we're going to continue to walk in love, live in love, happiness, and prosperity. And I love y'all. And I'm going to see y'all on another side of a video. I wanted to use a cuss word with that. It would have really felt real good. But I'm going to have to take this for now. I'm going to see y'all on another side of a video. Love y'all. Bye.